a reflection of pure terror. Welcome to I Hope You Suffer.
Boo.
Boo.
All right, I guess.
Everything. Boo Katie for making me watch this.
That's
Damn.
rude.
Welcome to episode 74 of I Hope You Suffer. My name is Nathan.
I'm Kit.
I'm Katie.
And this week we watched 1990's Mirror Mirror. Unfortunately, not the Julia Roberts one.
Damn.
What I should have watched. Just start talking about this fucking fairy tale movie. You guys be like, what's happening?
Like, I don't remember that part, but maybe I just zoned out. I wouldn't have been surprised.
I was actually really kind of worried that somebody, Kit, would end up watching the wrong one because there are like 1,000 movies called Mirror Mirror. But then when I got the text, I knew. I was like, all right.
There's apparently 4 sequels to this movie at least.
There are?
So,
They're like mirror, 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 and mirror, 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 mirror.
I wish. I think the writers of it, when I looked them up, I saw like Mirror Mirror 2 and Mirror Mirror 4.
So this movie is like sort of strange because
Yes, that's all. You could just stop at strange.
The person, I thought he was the producer, but it's not listed up here. He's the one who did the score for this movie, and he directed the second one. So like,
Jimmy Lifton.
Yeah. So like the director, who is Marina Sargenti, this was the only one that she did, and then I don't know. This is like it's really strange because like people were like involved in different parts of the movie for other sequels also, and like sometimes some of the writers come back and stuff, so it's like it's really strange. And I actually watched the second one today also.
What'd you find that on?
It's on Prime. So Prime has 1, 2, and 4, but not 3. Because I was like, all right, you know what? I'm gonna watch all of them because I said I was gonna do that with Witchboard, which, like, not surprisingly, Witchboard is a customers also watched of this movie, which, like, I think by watching it you can tell it has like very strong Witchboard vibes, at least in my opinion. So it did the same sort of thing where there's like a bunch of Witchboards, and like the crazy thing about the second one, which I'll talk more about the second one after we finish talking about this one. But the thing that's crazy is that the only person who appears in the second movie that's from the first movie is Ponytail.
Huh.
But he plays a different character.
I forgot to look for the Ponytail.
His name is William Sanderson.
He was
He was like the
vet guy, right?
He was from the Pet Cemetery.
Yeah, that's what it was.
VZ or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, so in the second one he plays like a taxidermist, so it's like a completely different character, but like sort of a throwback, right? And the other star of the second one is Mark Ruffalo, which is really strange because Mark Ruffalo is also in the third movie, but plays a completely different character. So
Mark Ruffalo's come a long way. I'm proud of him.
I don't know. I think that seems like a downturn from going from Mirror Mirror 2 and 3 to Avengers.
What if he leverages all of his Avengers money to get Mirror Mirror remade?
I would watch it in a heartbeat. So I don't know. It just was like another weird sort of like thing because I don't know. The more that I kept like looking and clicking on things, the darker I was going, and I was like, this is crazy. So So yeah, I'll talk more about Mirror Mirror 2, Raven Dance.
I don't like that the
Are there actually dancing ravens?
There's dancing and ravens. Yeah.
But
the
not dancing ravens.
No, but
Then I'm out.
Mark Ruffalo, or not Mark Ruffalo, Ponytail gets slapped in the face by a raven. So that was pretty cool.
I'm back in.
All right, cool. All right.
the first plot keyword on IMDb for Mirror Mirror 2 is blonde.
I'm not really sure why, because who's blonde in it?
That's got Roddy McDowall in it. Huh. 3 has
I think
the
he's-
worst poster art I think I've ever seen.
I think he's in another one also as a different character. It just gets weirder and weirder.
I always like the idea that their continuity is we'll just bring an actor from the previous one but have him play somebody else.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
I want 2020 to give me the Mirror Mirror cinematic universe.
It's just
I mean, they really were setting it up. So I had to Google the ending of this movie because I didn't really understand like what had happened, and so I read that like essentially like the original press for this movie was actually pretty good. Like it was received pretty well. It was received as like a really good like teenage horror movie or whatever. And then the second one, it basically just gets worse and worse like each time they release one. So
wow, what a shock.
I know. So I think they probably were. I don't know why it took them 4 of them to be like, hey, maybe stop now. But you know,
Did
we
they
got.
ever take... Sorry, I was gonna say, did they ever take the mirror to space?
That
I don't-
would
well,
have been 5 before they stopped.
Yeah, right. Hey, get at us.
Yes, let us write all your space movies. Just any idea, we just put in space.
One of the things
Yes.
is that the mirror from the first one is also in the second one, so it'll be interesting to see if it keeps going that way.
I just like the idea of the mirror for some reason being on like a spaceship that gets sent into space.
That's the only way they can get rid of it. They gotta ship it into space.
They just find it floating in space. It hits their spacecraft and doesn't shatter for some reason, so they bring it on board.
Like this movie, like I definitely get the comparison to Witchboard.
Mm-hmm.
But Witchboard at least like was shorter and had shit happen. Like the first 40 minutes of this movie is just like a fish out of water high school movie. Like nothing happens. It's just this character tries to go to a new school and then like nobody likes her except for this one other girl and they become friends and it just takes so fucking long for anything to like start happening.
Yeah, there is a lot of like setup, which I didn't say. I actually liked this movie. I did think it was extremely too long. Like they cut back to school a bunch of times that could have like a bunch of that could have just been completely cut out. Like it's not like we've never seen like a teen possession movie. Like I don't know. There was just a lot of setup for no reason. Like I don't know. There's a lot of things, yeah, that I would cut from it, but like the movie itself, like the actual meat of the movie, I really liked. So I don't know. We'll see. I'm gonna keep watching them.
Based on
You're
like,
more dedicated than I am.
based on like the poster art for 3, I think you're gonna have a rough time.
Well, if I can even find 3, I might have to skip it. So maybe that's why it's like not available anywhere.
I bet that's something you could probably find on like YouTube or something.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, it's also really hard to search for because, like I said, like even if you just type in like Mirror Mirror or Mirror 3 or like whatever, there's just so much stuff that comes up that it's like it's hard to look through. But yeah.
Wow, that movie looks like dog shit. It covers like one of those like romance novels you find at like Kroger where they only carry like 4 romance novels.
Yes.
Yeah, like the poster art for this movie is like it's not bad. It's definitely got that like late 80s feel to it. And then 2 didn't really look like it was too bad either, and then 3 just looks like straight up trash, and then 4 kind of looks slightly better, but not really.
Mirror, Mirror 4, The Redemption.
Oh, is it? For some reason I thought it was The
Reflection.
Reflection. Yeah, and I was like,
Oh, I was just joking that it was getting better, but that's weird that it's called The Reflection. I don't like that.
Yeah. They reflected on the fact that they made 4 of those movies and decided it was time to stop.
I wonder what. Let's see if this has the how much it made. It does not.
$18.45.
I like the first trivia, as Billy Drago previously appeared in the 3rd Mirror Mirror movie in a different role.
Yeah.
But yeah, it seems to be the consistency of these movies.
All right, so there's like at least 3 different people that play different characters.
As a storm rages, 5 desperate people are caught in the mirror's power to reveal lost souls, broken dreams, second chances, and some very strange sexual vengeance.
What?
So, 4 sounds interesting.
Okay.
I'm not watching any more of these.
I will.
You can update us.
Godspeed.
I like how above, like, the other tagline is a shocking reflection of evil in the tradition of Carrie and Heathers. Maybe don't compare yourself to Carrie and Heathers. That's all I'm gonna say.
I mean, like, I get what they're going for, and like, that would obviously get people to watch it, but
maybe don't though. This is what I'm.
I mean, this movie's got some strong Lydia Dietz energy going, so.
Oh my God, yes. There was like some parts of it. So first of all, I knew I was gonna love this movie because her name is Rainbow Harvest. Like legit, that is her real name,
yeah,
Rainbow Harvest.
Name.
Sick name.
Yeah. And so I kind of assumed like I didn't look at any of like the shots of her. If you go to the IMDb, you can like clearly see she like literally is just like sort of like a punkish version of Lydia. And so when the movie first started, I was expecting that she was going to be just like kind of like a normie, and then she would turn. I didn't expect her to come like out of the gates like that. And when we first see her, I literally was like immediately stan Megan. She's crazy. I love her. But yeah, there's some parts of it where I'm literally like, she looks like Winona Ryder.
Yeah, like especially if she's got that big ass crazy hat on.
Yeah,
Yes.
and she has like the little like skinny bang thing. She's got like a small fit. Like her features are very reminiscent.
Did Beetlejuice come out before or after this?
Before. I think Beetlejuice was like 87, right?
Maybe.
I
feel
think
like it had to have been in the 80s, right?
It was. I think it was like
88.
88,
Okay.
7 or 88.
Because I was like the entire time I was watching this, I was like, did this rip off Beetlejuice or vice versa?
Oh, they well, you know what? I feel like
Imagine,
because
Tim Burton just being like, I really want to make a Mirror Mirror movie, but I'm gonna make the fucking the demon in the mirror just be a weird sexual creep.
I love the idea of Tim Burton like being like, you know what aesthetic I really love? Mirror Mirror.
Megan from Mirror Mirror. I think it was supposed to be more of like a homage kind of thing, because there are a few lines in the movie that are sort of like throwbacks to like Carrie and a couple other movies. So I think that they, I don't know that I would say they were trying to rip it off, but I definitely think that they were playing towards like that kind of.
I mean, they for sure, like, her entire look is just like Lydia Dietz with just like part of her hair shaved out, so it's not a complete ripoff.
And then she has like some bleached parts of it, and then also like leather. That's pretty much like the difference. And she also has like, so she's kind of like Lydia Dietz meets like Susie Sue, because she's got like this, like her mascara is kind of like, yeah, like that. Or not her mascara, her eyeliner. Anyway.
So this movie as Katie said earlier, is directed by Marina Sargenti, who was also a co-writer of it with Annette Carskone and Gina Carskone and Yuri Seltzer. Stars Karen Black as Susan, Rainbow Harvest as Megan, Christy Dattilo as Nikki, and then Steven Tobolowsky as Mr. Anderson, the teacher.
Oh, yeah.
Who, for one, rules, but also was Tor in the Heart Attack episode of Seinfeld.
Oh. He's also the principal in the Goldbergs.
Yes. He's in, like...
I only think of him as Ned Ryerson. No? Silence to Ned Ryerson.
Water. I don't know who that is.
From Groundhog's Day?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I haven't seen Groundhog's Day since probably around the time that movie came out.
Well, anyways, yeah, big stand for him.
Yes. Super Stan.
Dude has got a insanely long filmography. He's just in fucking everything.
He's like
but he's also
the
great
top,
in everything.
that guy.
Yes. He's like one of those character actors that just like is in every comedy and just like a small role, but is always just like great in it.
Yeah, and he's like very often like a teacher or something like to that effect.
He's real good in the Goldbergs.
Yeah, he's like a pretty big character in that show too.
Yeah.
So
this movie...
Uncle Neil and Freddy Got Fingered.
Oh shit. The best movie. This movie opens with old-timey music per the subtitles.
When I first saw that, I was like, oh no.
The subtitles are pretty great because it's just constantly like ominous mirror sounds and...
Yeah.
I'd love to hear an ominous mirror.
I wrote down one later that's like pretty funny, so we'll see when we get to it. Oh, demonic vocalizing. I was like, I relate to that.
Basically it opens in quote unquote olden times.
Olden days.
Their olden times.
Like I'm assuming it's probably supposed to be like the 20s or 30s. But it's like one woman drags another woman into this room and like covers the mirror and then just like pulls this woman's body onto the bed and just starts stabbing her in the chest. And the mirror becomes uncovered as she's stabbing her and starts shaking, and this woman finishes stabbing the other lady and just like gets up and covers the mirror again, and then it's like the opening credits.
Very weird opening.
It's like it makes no sense until literally like the last like minute and a half.
We also get like the music in this show, in this movie, is like very, very 90s, and it like literally gave me feels like I was watching an episode of Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Yeah, I could see that.
It's like it's like late 80s, early 90s, but then also there's like magical sounding like stuff. It's kind of weird.
I like this. My notes are so weird.
Same.
Yeah. It's like very not detailed. And it's almost like when I first started taking notes for the podcast, where I'm just like, I don't know, this woman's doing something. I don't have like names until like halfway through.
I think my first note, and I have no context for it, is all caps, dead people never come back.
Oh.
It's a quote, I'm pretty sure, but I don't remember what the context was or when it happened.
I know when it happens.
I don't
Is that your
that
first note for the movie?
Yes. I started watching and was like, this is decent. And I was like, wait, I need to start taking notes.
That's like 20 or 30 minutes into the movie, I think.
I didn't miss a whole lot.
I
feel like.
Yeah, I mean, the first 40 minutes is just bonding, so...
The ponytail was when I first started really paying attention.
That's like roundabouts when that happens, sort of. So
So I knew it was time to get serious.
So after the credits, it comes up to two women like cleaning out this house after, I'm guessing, a murder. It's very strange because it's like it cuts from this murder in the opening, but it's like very obvious, like a long time ago. But then it's like these people like cleaning out the house, and it you kind of like as like at the beginning until like the very end, I was like, oh, is this so they're just cleaning up after this murder or whatever? But then I'm like, wait, that doesn't make sense because this was blatantly had to have been like decades prior.
Yeah.
They just didn't realize someone had been murdered for like
For 30
60 years.
Yeah.
Well, I think they made it so like later on you get like really random like snippets of what actually happened. You have to like actually be paying attention to like clip it together. And I think what happens is so like the two women in the beginning, Mary and Elizabeth, Mary I think is the one that does the killing, and so then I think she stays in the house, like doesn't leave the house but stays in the house until she gets old and dies. So like first of all, who knows how long that was. And then I kind of was under the assumption that maybe like the whole town knows what happened at the house, so it like is one of those movies where it like takes somebody from out of town to move into the house. So I think it was one of those things where it had been on the market for a long time, but like they don't really, there's not even like a throwaway line to like set that up.
Like, I think my biggest kind of hurdle with this movie was like the editing is so random. Like it's just it cuts back and forth between so much shit and just like a bunch of like minute-long scenes that will cut from school back to the house, back to school. All of a sudden you're like in a gym class, but then all of a sudden you're back into another class. Then you're back at like someone's house, and then it's school the next. I don't know. It's weird. Like it's just everything happens like real like quick, and
but like a lot of it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's just like a lot of, you know, like teenage kids just like being dicks to each other for like 40 minutes, and then you just see like a shot of the mirror, and it made it like kind of a little more difficult than it needed to be to kind of keep track of what's happening in the movie.
Yeah.
So you're then introduced to Megan, who is the Lydia Dietz character, like basically the main character you follow through the movie, and her mom Susan, played by Karen Black.
I love Karen.
Same. They are just like going through the house, like checking it out to buy it or whatever, and their dogs are there who pee on stuff because they're awesome. Spoiler: dogs die in this movie.
I was sad because I feel like we, for a really long time, like kind of steered away from it, and then as soon as I saw the dogs, I was like, "Oh God, here we go."
You should have known.
You at least don't see it happen, but
yeah.
So you cut to like the kids at the high school where you're introduced to Charlene and Nikki, who are running for school president, which is a just unneeded fucking plot line in this movie.
I mean, I get like why that was part of the plot, but I think they like dragged it on a little like too much.
I think you could have just made it like Charlene's like the popular bully, and then you know what? Like I don't know. This, I get it. It's just like it's just too much. My note for this entire scene is just high school kids arguing about stuff? ?
Yeah. Then I wrote the quote: "Don't look at her boobs."
Megan shows up to, I'm guessing, her first day of school, and is like immediately an outcast because she's the goth kid, and as she comes into the classroom, one of the kids is just like, "Punk is out."
What?
I was like, number one, this is not punk. It's clearly goth. Get your shit right.
Right. I guess because of the leather, maybe. I don't know. But I love how the teacher's just like, "Oh, you must be the exchange student from LA," which again, strong witchboard vibes with Zarabeth, where they like are like, "This person's from California,"
Are
and
you
they're
in
all like
like
different and crazy looking.
are you an exchange student if you're from the same country? Aren't you just basically
Uh,
transferring to another school then?
well, I don't know if he said exchange student. I just
Oh.
said that,
I mean, I
but
feel like he did, but they just
I
exchange. It's
mean,
like,
you're right. Yeah,
did they ever say where like where
where
this
they
takes
are.
place?
Not that,
Mars.
My,
not
That
that I
extends
caught.
exchange student thing.
I'm just gonna pretend this movie takes place in like Spain, so that it makes sense that she's an exchange student. But then there's like zero accents throughout the whole movie. It's just like a bunch of like Beverly
White
Hills
kid,
white
like,
kids.
yeah.
Yeah. So Megan, already the outcast, goes like walking through the class and trips and knocks over the teacher's fucking skeleton.
Unbelievable.
It's fucking come on. And then she just like runs off and leaves all of her shit in the classroom, and everyone's laughing at her. And
It's a very bad first impression
no
as an
kidding,
exchange student
you were
in
like
Spain.
not getting over that shit. Like no one
No.
would ever let you get over, like forget about it. Like,
Not in high school.
that time you fucking knocked over the skeleton in class. She like runs off to the bathroom, and Nikki brings her stuff to her and like consoles her, which is essentially the entire movie is just Nikki consoling Megan.
Yeah.
And you get my favorite scene of the movie of
Yes.
Nikki and Megan just like bonding at tennis practice, where goth Megan in her tennis outfit but her bright as fuck white makeup on.
It's so great because the outfits are like white, like super white, and then have like a little bit of blue on them, and she just looks like it was a look. That's for sure.
It's as good as when like it's her in like her swimsuit but still has all the fucking makeup on.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, they're just like bonding at this fucking tennis practice. It's just a bunch of shit of showing that they're like becoming friends that just for some reason takes 40 minutes of the movie.
Yeah, I mean, like the only takeaway from this whole like scene is pretty much just that like Megan's dad died a couple months ago.
I didn't catch like any of that.
Yeah, it was just like small talk, and then she's like, my dad died 4 months ago.
I feel like I just blocked out or just like bypassed all of the important dialogue in the first like 40 minutes of the movie. Because I know they like talk about her dad dying and stuff, but like I was just like, okay, why is this still happening? You cut to Susan back at home on the phone with a doctor about like Megan being depressed and shit. And you get a quick scene of one of the dogs peeing on the mirror. And then you cut to who I thought was a landlord, who I guess ends up not being a landlord and is like a fucking antique seller or some shit.
Yeah, she's like she is like the estate handler, so like any of the stuff that was like left in the house, she like takes and sells off. So like the other lady is like the realtor. I don't even know what this lady's name is.
Yeah, I just wrote like landlady for all of it, so
I wrote lady, so it doesn't really matter.
She's the landlord in my notes.
That's fine.
She is like reading a note taken from the house about like the mirror while just fucking eating food the most gross way possible. It's like constantly like picking food out of her teeth while talking, and it's just like constantly stuck to her face and shit. And I hated every minute of it.
Just has like chicken skin just like on her forehead.
Oh my God, when the dude like eats the chicken later, it is fucking real gross. Like that food just looked so bad.
That, and then there's a scene later where Nikki's boyfriend is making sandwiches, and I was like, those sandwiches look so freaking gross. Like, what is wrong with the food in this movie?
That also might be one of my favorite scenes. It's so weird. Megan arrives home and like Susan is crying over finding the dog upstairs dead that she has just put on their fucking cutting board table for some reason.
Like, ew.
Megan's just like, why is it up on the table? Like, what is happening?
When I die, please put me on the table.
I'm going to.
Loan request.
You got it.
On a cutting
I like
board.
how Megan like definitely does not care that this dog is dead, and her mom's like, "Oh, I can't believe you're not sad," and she's like, "Ew, gross! Get that thing off the counter." And she's like, "Well, he liked you." I was like, "All right, well."
They call I don't even know how to
A
fucking...
ponytail.
Yes, they call a dude with a
They call it
ponytail.
ponytail.
Who is Mr. VZ.
Ponytailington.
Yes.
Is what we call him.
It's Ponytailington.
Ponytail.
He is
I wrote
from...
Pet Cemetery Ponytail,
I just put Pet Cemetery guy shows up to get dog.
and he has a ponytail. I really hate to break it to you, but his character in the second movie does not have a ponytail. I was
God
really,
damn it.
yeah.
What's even the point of doing a sequel?
Does he
Right?
Does he get to fuck in that movie too?
No, he doesn't.
That's probably because he didn't have a
Come
ponytail.
on!
But he gets bitch slapped by a raven, so it's just as good, I think.
So, you don't get a ponytail, you don't get to fuck. Karen Black ain't fucking nobody without a ponytail.
That's true.
You get a scene of Megan reapplying makeup in the mirror, and then just like freaks out on herself, which I kind of like. I liked some of the shit, like the way they shot the mirror stuff.
Yeah, where you're like
Like,
inside the
yeah,
mirror
you
looking
get
out.
mirror vision.
Yes, mirror vision.
Oh,
okay, I like it. Your first note comes in around now.
Is it?
I knew it was crazy.
It just felt like half an hour.
I mean, this is probably like 15 minutes in.
4 minutes in.
Yeah, yeah. Is this when Megan is like sleeping and is woken up by her dead dad?
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
I don't remember any of this. Like, my notes are Megan sleeping, dead dad wakes her up. Dad has a fucked up face.
Yeah, this part was actually like pretty cool because like he wakes her up and like hugs her, so you don't really see that anything's wrong, except for that you already know that he's dead, so it's kind of weird. And then she like looks at him and his face is like really gross. Then she like tries to run and she like rips some of his scalp off and she's just like screaming and screaming. And then her mom comes in and is like, I wrote is upset and mean to her, but basically Megan's like, oh my god, I had this dream and dad was here. And then the mom gets like mad and is like, says what Kit wrote.
Oh, the dead don't
Dead
come
people
back.
never come back.
Yeah, or something like that. And then she just like leaves and I was like, wow, okay, bitch. Like,
My note is Susan comes in to console her and she tells him about seeing her dad and Susan is like, shut the fuck up.
essentially, yeah.
It just like reads like her mom has no understanding of how dreams work. Like, I had a terrible dream and I
Right.
saw dad, and it's like, you could never see your father again. He's dead. What? That's not what I'm saying.
God, I wish this movie was just about a lady that didn't understand dreams. My next note is Megan in her Lydia Dietz hat at school.
Yeah.
No school would allow this fucking hat.
No, not at all.
Oh. I would hope not.
The other thing that's funny to me about this is it's like a huge sun hat, but it's like made of like strips of wicker or something. So like it's
So
definitely
all of the
not
sun can
shading
get
you
through.
from the sun.
You just get a
Yeah.
fucking weird sunburn. You get a scene of Megan and Nikki at like a fucking play rehearsal where they're talking apparently very loudly about Megan's dream and get you like in trouble for interrupting the play. Was Charlene who is that? Is it Charlene who was doing the play?
I think it was Kim, Charlene's friend. I kept getting them confused. But I think it was Kim because like she had curly hair or whatever. And then you also get Nikki sort of tells, I was gonna say Lydia, Megan about Mary Weatherworth and like the rumors surrounding the house.
Oh yeah, this is just more shit. I was just not.
Which is like
paying
that's why I'm
attention
not
to.
really sure why they were like laughing and shit, because like you're talking about murder, but whatever, it's fine. And then they get sent to the principal, which is like kind of an overreaction if you ask me, but
I mean,
I don't know.
zero tolerance. Yeah, she tells her about. I have that in my notes, like the sister disappearing. You then cut to Nikki, Megan, and Ron at Nikki's house in her, I guess, clay sculpting room. Making fucking weird. Like, Nikki is just making, like, a sculpted head of Ron, her boyfriend. Which is not
I don't like that.
creepy at all. Only Lionel Richie's allowed to do that shit. You then, like, I don't know, it's again, this is just a bunch of shit where it's just, like, weird, like, minute-long scenes of, like, nothing really happening or, like, progressing the story. What, go ahead.
I wrote Megan comes home and Ponytail is invited to dinner.
Yeah.
And he says, pets are people too.
I have Susan and VZ flirting, flies flying around everywhere. This scene is gross, and I hate all of it.
It also, like, doesn't make sense, like...
Yeah, I don't know what is happening in this scene. But they're, like, they sit down to eat dinner. It's, like, Susan, Megan, and Mr. VZ. And, it's, like, you'll see, it seems like there's just, like, a fly flying around them while they're eating, but then you start seeing the mirror get, like, covered in flies. And, like, it's just, like, more and more of them kind of flying around downstairs. VZ is, like, swatting him away and goes to take a bite out of his piece of chicken, which is the grossest piece of chicken I've ever seen. And he looks down and sees worms in it and says he has to leave because he's having Vietnam flashbacks.
So, my question is, what happened to him in Vietnam that he's having flashbacks of, like, maggots on chicken?
I mean, I can't imagine food rations were super great in Vietnam.
I guess, but, like...
What if he brought all of his, like, pet chickens from home?
I mean,
Now that's slaughtered.
Based on, I'm assuming, the very realistic Vietnam stuff we saw in Velocipaster.
I was gonna say, maybe he was trying to start a family in the woods and his chickens got blown up.
His chickens got Adelined.
Yeah.
Well, also, their dialogue is like, they're like sitting to dinner. They like barely know him, right? And he's just like, "Oh, it must be so hard to raise a daughter by yourself." I'm like,
I mean, Susan's trying to get that dick. She doesn't care.
Well, I know she is, but like, I mean, well, I think Karen was gonna, no, wait, Susan was gonna give it anyway because she put on her best wig, so like, she was ready.
This seems like a trope that comes up a lot in like 80s and 90s movies of just like an oblivious mom that's just trying to get fucked all the time. I'm here for it. So you then...
Best way to get over someone is to get under someone else. Isn't that what they say?
Yeah, especially you gotta fuck a sick ponytail.
Yeah.
I mean, like...
And he's a nom.
and he was in Nom.
There's
The ultimate combo.
I feel like that timeline doesn't work with when this movie was made.
Well, luckily we have no idea when this takes place, so they could just say whatever they wanted.
I'm just gonna pretend this was like the 40s. Megan's the first goth.
Shit,
yeah,
right.
Is he like a psychic?
Yeah.
Foreseeing Vietnam?
I'm having flash forwards of the war I'm gonna be in.
Maybe he's maybe it's like Quantum Leap, and he's just...
Leaping all over.
Yeah. So you then cut to swim class, which I guess was a thing in 1990.
They definitely did used to have swim classes, and I used to like whenever I would watch it, I used to like, well, they definitely had it in the 80s. I don't know about the 90s, but I always remember feeling so fortunate that like my school did not have a pool because that sounds like a fucking nightmare.
Yeah. And especially the fact that they're just gonna play like water polo.
Or whatever they're doing. Like, who knows? They're just like jumping around in the water.
It's very
Not
bad
even really.
synchronized
Water
swimming.
jumps.
Yeah.
They have to pick teams, and Megan is obviously picked last because she has a big ass face full of makeup. About to get in the fucking pool. Quote unquote landlord lady is then seen reading shit about the beers. This beer was used in the witch trials that allowed demons to enter the real world, or some fucking nonsense.
Yeah, she basically just says that like the demons used to grant witches wishes so that they could come through the mirror, and that only a black cloth can be used to block the demon powers, which I gotta say, so far we've seen that doesn't really work.
Yeah,
So
it didn't work at the beginning.
Yeah.
You then get a scene of Megan, Nikki, and Ron sitting down in the lunchroom as the cool kids slow-mo laugh at Megan.
yeah.
That you see, like, Charlene and her friends all laughing at Megan, and then you get a quick flash of the mirror at home making whooshing noises and dripping blood.
Ominous mirror sounds.
Then I think Charlene is whose nose starts to just like brutally bleeding blood everywhere.
Yeah. Or Charlene has a dramatic nosebleed.
She does a really poor job trying to stop it too. Like she's holding paper like 4 feet underneath her nose. Like, oh my god, why won't it stop bleeding?
Oh, it's so
Apply
awesome.
pressure, come on.
It's also like at one point she doesn't even do it. She has like all of her friends do it for her.
Can't be bothered.
And like 16 people holding tissues under her face.
Megan says that she thinks ghosts attacked her, and that Ron is just like, this bitch is crazy.
This scene was like so weird and unnecessary because it just like hard cuts to Nikki being like, ghosts don't exist. And I'm like, what? What? And then it's just like Rob is mean and it's just like, fuck this chick, I'm gonna leave. And then she's like, be nice to my friend, see you later. And they like kiss. And I was like, what the fuck?
You then cut to a fucking extra weird scene of Megan in front of the mirror chewing gum that she fucking takes out and rubs on the mirror and puts back in her mouth and then spits it out because it tastes bad.
Like,
Which, even without the fucking haunted mirror, I can't imagine it's gonna taste good.
I hate it.
oh.
Yes, it's very strange. You then cut back to school where all of the cool kids decide to dress as Megan as a funny joke.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
Hilarious
Can I-
high school
can-
antics.
Can I say though, they all look banging. Their outfits are so cool. I know that
Like, doesn't anyone realize that they look way cooler now dressed like that?
than just wearing their like Old Navy outfits. Like, they look awesome, but I know that they think it's a joke.
I mean,
Oh, this is
Punk's
this
out,
is the
so
I mean, I guess. Which is like really weird because then like when the teacher sees all of them, he's just like, "Oh my god, I hope this isn't the start of a trend." Like, aren't you saying that the trend is over? Like, but this is one of the scenes I was talking about where they're like putting on the makeup and they're like, and Jock boyfriend's like not about it. He's like, "I don't know why you're being mean to her," and she's just like, "It's just a joke. It's not like we're gonna cover her in pig's blood or something." And I was like, haha.
a dude just wants his big titty goth girlfriend throughout the whole movie.
He just wants a taste of the strange.
Yep. So fucking the teacher, Mr. Anderson, like harasses Megan about fucking the test she's just drawing on instead of taking, and then goes up front to his desk and starts choking on nothing as Megan is just like furiously drawing a black circle on her test. It's just another weird scene.
I wrote down teacher getting extremely sweaty.
I felt like this was sort of a overreaction because like he just says some sort of like off comment thing to her and it wasn't even like that serious and she's like, oh yeah, well take this asthma attack.
You've been circled.
Also, I'm pretty sure the way he was using that inhaler is not the correct way to use an inhaler, which is not to spray it like 4 inches away from your mouth.
I like to think that
Probably
the
why
actor
it didn't
was just
fix
like,
anything.
yeah, he was like, I don't want to actually spray this in my mouth. That's gross.
He probably showed up and based on the scenes he was in was probably like, oh, this is going to be a comedy. I should probably do something crazy.
Here's the like Bulk and Skull music from Power Rangers. He's trying to spritz it into his face.
I love it.
So he, I don't know, I guess lives, but you never really find out. He gets taken out on a gurney with a fucking oxygen mask on, and then you never see him again. So I'm just gonna assume he died.
Who knows?
Megan arrives home as Susan is dressing up as a Valley girl to go, I don't know, I forget what she's doing. Go look for dudes. She's gonna go to the grocery store, but
yeah, she like has this line where she's just like, wow, someone's grumpy. I'm going to the store. Do you want me to get you some Midol? Like like she's having PMS or something. But yeah, her outfit, she like literally looks like a California Barbie or something.
She looks like what, like, I don't know, Kelly Kapowski would look like if she kept dressing like she did on Saved by the Bell, but like into her 50s.
Yes, exactly.
Megan is in her room and sees the mirror dripping blood and then fucking dry humps and licks and plays with the blood on the mirror while a weird
she starts like making out with it.
Yes, a weird demon hand comes out and like feels her up, and it's very strange.
I'd be concerned if a mirror grabbed my ass. Just me.
You better watch yourself at the gym now, Kit. You don't know.
Yeah. No more gym selfies.
You just start taking like real close looks at them, see if there's any kind of fucking demons in the background. It's just gonna play tricks on you, come up and like pinch your butt and then run away. Quote unquote landlady comes to Megan's house to pick up the mirror because for some reason it was left at this house for what I can only assume is at least more than a week, if not longer.
Well, she also like, so when they first see the mirror, she's like immediately drawn to it, and the realtor is like, oh, I'm sorry, they were supposed to take this out, but if you want to buy it, I can, like, whatever. So they like buy the mirror from her. So like the fact that she's showing up like however long later to be like, hi, this is my mirror, like get the fuck out of here, we paid for this.
It's weird because it's like based on like Megan has to have been in school for at least more than a week, and it's probably longer based on like her friendship with Nikki at this point. Like it
right,
you're just gonna leave this shit at someone's house for at least 2 weeks before you go pick it up?
Well, it took her that long to read someone's private diary.
Well, she wants the mirror, and Megan's like, get the fuck off my property.
Megan's like, I'm having sex with the mirror.
Yeah,
I
it's
need
my
you
boyfriend now. Please go away. Apparently, Charlene is having some sort of party at I don't know where this party was at.
I have no idea.
I thought it was the school at first, then I was like, no, wait, there's like a closet, so I'm guessing her house.
Yeah.
But Megan shows up all quote unquote glammed up or some shit. Like everybody's
Yeah.
like, whoa, whereas basically she's just not wearing a fucked up hat.
So, so
That
this is
makes or breaks the look.
It's just
For
like
real.
in like, fucking she's all that and they take the glasses off and she's hot. They're just like, Megan, take that goddamn hat off.
this is like number one sign that someone is possessed in a movie or a book or something. If they show up, if they were previously weird and then they show up like in hot as hell, they're possessed. So like basically she's just like wearing like a really tight, like before she was wearing a ton of clothes, right? She had like a skirt and a huge belt and a huge shirt and like a leather jacket and a huge hat and like huge earrings.
She had a leather
and now she's
jacket
just-
with like a scarf attached to it hanging off a sleeve. It was fucking real weird.
Yeah, I don't know like what was going on with some of her outfits, but now she's just wearing like a really simple like tight black dress that has like the back out and her hair's down. It's not like teased all weird or whatever. And then her makeup is just like very minimal. So everyone automatically thinks that she's like super hot because she's possessed. That's what happens.
She tells Nikki that like things are going to be different now. Nikki's like, I don't know what you're talking about. And then she asks cool jock guy to dance. And he's like, fuck yeah. Gonna listen to some Typo Negative. Get down later. So she dances with this dude for like 5 seconds to a very weird song.
Hi.
Hi.
You want to dance, Megan?
Yes. I'll be right back. You're tired.
Thanks for dancing with me.
Why wouldn't I?
Well, I don't know. Things got kind of out of hand at school.
That's not your fault.
I know, but I should have said something sooner.
You're saying something now.
Yeah. You gotta understand, Charlene. She's just kind of a spoiled brat sometimes. She doesn't mean it.
Can we talk about this later and just dance for now?
Sure.
Look at that outfit. Oops, looks like I missed the sell at Kmart.
Thanks.
Sure. I want to show you something.
Yeah, I don't know. They dance and then Nikki and Ron go fucking make out in a closet. And Megan like interrupts them. And she says something about how she didn't ask for it to happen. I don't remember what this note is about. I just have Megan says she didn't ask for it to happen. Nikki confused.
Yeah, because I think she's trying to be like, I didn't ask the mirror to make him want to dance with me. He like just wanted to dance
that's
with me.
right.
But it's like he just felt sorry for her. And then when she
no, he wants a goth girlfriend.
I mean,
Also, Charlene
why-
is kind
why
of
wouldn't
the
you, but-
worst, so...
yeah,
Uh,
she is.
So, you got to Jeff and Charlene, like, making out in his car. And you see, like, Megan at home, like, looking in the mirror. And Jeff starts to, like, freak out on Charlene. Which she, in turn, takes as he wants a blowjob. So she starts to try to blow him, and he's like, get the fuck out of my car.
Like, I was like, Jeff tells her to leave, and he turns down a BJ, so you know it's serious.
Jeff shows up at Megan's house, to which they immediately start making out. And then
Yes, one does.
Jeff freaks out on her, too. I start, like... He's just like, I don't know, I gotta get out of here, I got some stuff I gotta think about. And Megan starts, like, talking to the mirror, telling it to make him stay. And then,
Not concerning at all.
He's just like, oh, this is weird, but she's goth. This bitch checks out. And then, like, a fucking mirror demon just, like, grabs Jeff's head and, I guess, sprays him with blood, which kills him.
Yeah, I don't. This scene was like very long, and I don't really understand like what was happening.
So there's a bunch of scenes of like the side of the mirror where like things come out or go into it, and like basically these hands just pull Jeff's face into the mirror, but like you never see like cuts or anything. His face just looks like he got sprayed with blood, and then he's just dead.
Yeah, there's like no gore to him at all. It's just blood. The other thing that I was like really disappointed at this point is when he like falls down dead and she's like, oops. And then the mom starts coming and then she's just like, clean this mess up, and his body just disappears. I was like, they could have done something really cool where they had the thing like pull him into the mirror or something, but it's like, nah, he just disappears. Like, what?
Yeah, I think it would have been a much better visual if you just saw like him just like get pulled off screen or whatever instead of just disappearing.
Like Prince of Darkness, like
yeah,
drawing him in.
Yeah, like anything other than him just disappearing would have been better.
Yeah, it could have just been like the same close up on like his face or whatever, but then just like pulled off screen.
Like anything.
I said Susan comes to see what is going on, and Megan tells her to go back to bed. VZ in her bed.
Yeah. I was like, Mom is like, what the fuck is in bed with ponytail? And he lights a cigarette, so
I mean,
you know they already got freaky.
I mean, I assume he's got that ponytail. He's probably just smoking the whole time.
Just screaming about flashbacks.
You cut to school the next day where Nikki is sad that she lost the election, and Megan tells her it will be fine. Quote unquote landlady breaking into Megan's house to get the mirror, which, like, at this point there's been like a scene or two where like the other dog has been trying to get into Megan's room, and like, you know, Susan like picks it up at one point and like shows that there's nothing in there, but the dog just like won't leave the door. And so this fucking lady goes upstairs and like goes to grab the mirror, which like does something to her hands.
It's like two really thin needles, like just poke through her hands. And she handles it very well. She's just like, oh, why would you do that to me? And then just like walks away.
Yeah, she's like, goodness me.
Yeah, so she like runs off, and then like the dog goes in the room, and you just hear it yelp. So both dogs are. This dog apparently disappears because Susan later is just like, I don't know where the dog went. Have you seen it? I think it ran away. And then they're just like, it's fine.
You know,
don't worry about it.
That's like one of the things about this movie that I thought is so crazy is like anytime somebody dies or like something happens, their reactions are so like nonchalant. Yeah, they're just
they just write it off. Like, it's fine. Don't worry about him.
Oh wow. Also, I don't like this mirror that we're talking about is like a full-length body mirror that is like the outside of it is like woven wood. So I imagine it's very heavy. I don't know what this lady thought she was gonna go do by herself. Like, I assume she had a cloak, so I assume she was gonna cover it. So I don't know why she like put her hands on the glass. Like, I don't know. I want to know what her plan was. Like.
Whatever it wasn't a good one, because she got like some splinters and fucking left.
Owie. Yeah.
She's more emotionally hurt, like that the mirror would do that to her. Physically hurt.
Thought we were bros.
Yeah. Keep her mind.
You then cut back to school where all of these kids are playing water polo, I guess.
Who knows?
Great sport.
Charlene is told about Jeff not coming back after the party, and she's just like, so what? He turned down my blowjob.
She did tell him not to call her again.
Charlene is then pulled underwater by, like, nothing.
My favorite part about this scene is, like, you get this, like, shot of Megan who like goes under the water and she's just like glaring at Charlene under the water. I was like, what?
I also like that she comes out and there's literally like nobody within feet of her, and she's just like, I know this was that bitch Nikki, and she attacks her and just starts like holding her head underwater. It's just like, I'm gonna drown you instead, and the teacher's just like, all right, knock it off.
The teacher's like,
no murdering in my class.
Yeah, then she's like, get out, and I want to see you in my office after school. And then Charlene's like, I have plans after school. And the teacher's just like, well, you better be there. I was like, this is why Charlene is such a problem. Because the teacher was just sort of like, well, whatever.
Yeah, money gets you that kind of stuff. I'm assuming she's rich.
She has to be.
Charlene is then kicked out of class and told to go shower. Which turns into the most ridiculous scene of this movie. Which she goes in to shower and all of the water turns off, and this is when you get like subtitles of like ominous pipes creaking and shit.
Demonic pipe sounds.
Yeah.
Which goes on for a while, and I was like, "Girl, get out of there." If I was in a shower by myself and I started hearing like pipe noises, like there's something wrong.
That's like
Get out of there.
Another thing in this movie that like could have been cut is like shit like this, where it's just like shows footage of the pipes for like a solid like minute that you just don't need.
Yeah, this
You're
scene
not
went
intimidated?
on for a while.
Yeah, I'm very scared of pipes now.
Never look at a pipe the same way again.
All of a sudden, the pipes just burst open and basically just steam Charlene to death.
It sounds like a horrible way to die, but it's extremely funny to watch in a movie.
It definitely would just not be fun. But it's also like the way they apply the makeup to her body is so ridiculous. Where like parts of it is just like the top of her legs and not the bottom, and just like sort of part of her back. It's crazy, but
avoided that direct steam.
Yeah, she like somehow immediately dies from it though. I'm like, what you? I don't know.
I mean, depending on how hot it is, like your body could only withstand going to a certain temperature. Like it would just shut down.
I wish she had just screamed like steam. Just collapsed.
It's hot.
All of the rest of the kids come to take a shower and open the door. Her fucking dead body just falls out, and the coach is just like, all right, everybody go get dressed, which just means all of the rest of the kids have to just stay smelling like chlorine for the rest of the fucking day.
Yeah, but also the girls do scream, but the teacher is like not surprised by this at all. She's just like, all right,
She's
go
like, yeah,
get out of here,
told
get
them
out
they
of
should
here,
have
and I'm
fixed
like.
those pipes.
Charlene loved her hot showers.
This is the third one this month. I just keep telling them. Gotta do a bake drive to raise the money for these fucking pipes.
In the locker room, Megan congratulates Nikki on becoming the class president now, and Nikki's just like, what the fuck? And she gets like pissed that like Megan is taking all of this so lightly, and Megan's just like, no, like I this is me. I did this. I'm a mirror person now.
The scene is so weird because she basically is like, well, you and I are innocent. We didn't do anything. But you should definitely thank me because I definitely did it.
It then cuts to Megan arriving at home, and Susan's like, we should go get dinner, just the two of us. And she's like, I can't. And then she's like, well, how about I just make like your favorite dinner, and it'll just, the two of us will just have dinner at home. And she's like, I just, wants to have like a better relationship with Megan, and Megan is like, get the fuck out of here. Because she's obviously turned evil now that she's a fucking mirror person.
She's turned mirror.
Yep, she's gone
full mirror.
And spoiler alert, Megan's favorite apparently is just basic ass spaghetti, so like come on.
I I assume this movie is essentially just like an allegory for like discovering masturbation. Where like all like it's just like all she wants to do is hang out in her room. She doesn't want to hang out with her family anymore. She's fucking a mirror.
I mean, I think most people would rather hang out with their mirror.
Yeah,
I'm not.
I mean, same.
I love my mirror.
So Megan, I guess the next day, confronts Nikki in the restroom. Nikki has been like avoiding her, and she tells Nikki that she's in control now, and like Nikki's like, okay, that's cool, I gotta go, and then all of a sudden gets like a stomach cramp, and Megan's just like, no, you don't understand, like I control it, I can turn it on and off, and as she says, like, she's like, I could turn it off, and like Nikki gets better, and then she's like, but I could turn it back on again, and Nikki's like stomach cramps up. This whole time Kim is in like one of the other stalls and like hears everything they're saying. Megan admits it was her who like had Charlene and Jeff killed, and Nikki's just like, okay, I gotta go.
You know,
So
whatever.
she like runs out, and Megan's just like, hey Kim, I know you're in there, and like confronts her after Nikki leaves, which I think there's like something that happens before it cuts back to the restroom, but it just cuts back to like Kim laying on the ground with a piece of broken mirror and just like some blood coming out of her mouth. So I guess just decide how you think she died.
She ate mirror.
Yeah, she ate some fucking mirror. Trying to become a mirror person.
Must become one with the mirror.
So then Nikki decides she needs to help Megan, and she goes to her I don't know who this lady was.
She was so Nikki like asked to borrow Rob's car, and she's like, go to my house, I need to borrow your car, and then I'll meet you there, which like I'm not really sure how he got to her house if she took his car. So she goes to see the realtor and is like, I need to ask you about the Merriweather house.
But she goes to like the lady she babysits her kids for first, which looked like one of the ladies from the beginning of the movie.
Yeah, she's the realtor. Because like when Megan and Nikki first meet, she's like, oh, I heard you guys bought this house, I babysit for whatever her name was, who's the realtor.
Okay.
But I don't even understand like why this part is necessary, because then the realtor immediately sends her to the shop. So like they could have just skipped all that. Like, who cares?
Yeah, it happened so quick, and I was just like, that lady looked familiar. Was that the lady from like the beginning of the movie, or was that the lady that like was helping clean out the house? Like that, I was very just half confused and half not really paying attention anymore. Basically, it just ends up that Nikki goes to talk to quote unquote landlady. About like she tells her about like the house, and tells her like that the mirror is controlling all of this, and gives her a black cloth to cover the mirror. You get like a quick scene of Susan like making dinner for him and all that shit, and you cut back to this quote unquote landlady calling for a priest. And you see like Megan like talking to the mirror, and then like all of a sudden like a mirror in this lady's house explodes and just like shoots her with glass before she could talk to this priest.
Yeah, I wasn't sure. I was like, I guess writing, and all I saw was like, I was like, some glass from somewhere breaks and she dies? Question mark. Like,
That's pretty accurate.
Okay.
I mean, like, I think she has like a mirror that was like in the room with her that like explodes and just like covers her in glass shards.
You know, logical.
Yeah. And then you get one of the best scenes of this movie is Ron making a sandwich, but like sports commentating the whole thing. Oh, it's so awesome. But it's also like the worst looking meat I've ever seen. But I guess it is also, he says, like a meatloaf and what, salami sandwich or some shit.
It's pimento loaf.
Ugh.
I don't like anything with loaf in it.
What about bread loaf?
I can do with a loaf of bread, but if you've molded your meat into a loaf, some kind of loafy meat, I'm out. Meat should be a loaf.
Yeah, I don't know. I just like he puts mayo on it, but he's using like a fucking oh shit, what's that thing called? It's like a brush, like a.
It's like a base, not a baster. No,
it's like a brush you would brush like butter on something with, I guess.
Or like glaze.
Yeah.
But it looked like it was like fabric.
It's very weird. I'm just like, dude, use a knife. He also
it's like
is
a
just
tiny.
like,
It's a tiny mop.
I don't know.
It's a mayonnaise mop.
I don't know why.
Those mayo mops.
I don't know
it.
why it bothered me, but he's like, he puts like, instead of putting the mayo on like the bread, he's just putting it like straight onto the meat, and I was like, come on, dude.
Oh. That bothers me too.
I was like,
I don't like
learn
that.
how to make a fucking sandwich.
He deserves to die for his sandwich atrocities.
Stop mopping mayo on your loafed meat.
He also like he makes like a fucking sandwich that could feed like 5 people.
Yeah, it's like her entire island is covered in like sandwich.
This is easily like a $35 sandwich because it's like basically it's like a sub, but it's got like 3 kinds of meat, 2 kinds of cheeses, like a whole fucking head of lettuce on it, and then just like the fucking mop of mayo.
All it needed was some Grey Poupon.
Now we're talking.
He starts to eat the sandwich and hears like water running upstairs, and he was fine wasting all of Nikki's parents' money on this sandwich, but God forbid they fucking have to pay a higher water bill. So he goes upstairs and sees like the clay bust of him all fucked up, and then like.
That's kind of concerning.
I just like that he hears water running, but the first place he goes to is like her fucking art room.
Yeah, right.
He like walks into the bathroom and sees Nikki's drowned body in the bathtub, and he like runs in and goes to pull her out of the water, and she's just immediately like, "Oh, I'm okay, I'm fine," and then just like tries to fuck him. He's just like, "This is weird, but okay." And he's
like, "We should take you to the hospital," and she's like, "Let's make out with our clothes on in this bathtub instead." And he's like, all right, I guess.
Just like
honestly, if I'm having a near-death experience, like probably a top 3 option.
I mean, but
since he left the sandwich downstairs, I guess you might as well, right?
I don't know if that's the top 3 option for the other person. Who was like traumatized from seeing your dead body in the fucking water.
It might be. They thought you were gone.
I mean, this is weird. I don't like it.
Yeah. Starting to get very
this whole scene is like very strange and confusing to me.
I just like though that she's like, I'm okay. Just kiss me. I'm okay. And so she starts like kissing him and pushes him into the water and is just like forcing his head underwater with kisses. And at this point, the real Nikki shows up and starts like walking through the house, and like fake dead body Nikki is like drowning Ron in the bathtub, and like you start seeing the water like turn red, and it cuts back to him as she pulls her face away, and like she is just like ripped off his lip and some other part of his face, and is like,
and then like
killed him.
a piece of his neck randomly, and he's dead from that somehow.
Well, I'm assuming he died from the drowning, but
I guess I don't know.
That was if you lose any of your neck meat, game over.
Yeah, pretty much. Real Nikki comes in and finds him in the bathtub and turns around and sees like fake Nikki, who's just like laughing it up as the phone starts ringing, and then she fades away.
Which again, like, why? Seems, I guess, like the continuity of the powers in this movie sort of like confused me because, like, okay, so now this thing is strong enough to make like a doppelganger, but then like from here on out, there's like not really much power stuff that happens. So I'm like, what? Like, what?
You say that, except that it just basically like puts a tornado inside the entire house for the end of it.
I know. So I feel like tornado should come before like real life doppelgangers that can kill you.
Same level.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. All right. Okay.
Now, if it could make a tornado doppelganger, that's some next level shit.
It just looks like the fucking cartoon Tasmanian Devil, where it's just like tornado on the bottom and person on top.
That.
So
I also don't like that it just like disappears. Like, I wish she would have just like ran out and answered the phone and then like.
she should have just exploded into glass shards and then went to
Ooh.
answer the phone. Yeah, Nikki goes
Again, anything would be better
better
than the
just
disappearing.
fading away.
Yeah.
Nikki,
I guess they were just like, hey, we know how to make stuff disappear, so let's just keep doing it, right? I mean, why not?
Nikki goes to like answer the phone and it's Megan and she's just like, I'm the only friend you need. You need to get over here right now.
Essentially what I text Nathan every single day.
I'm not coming to California. I've driven there. I'm done. I'm never coming back. Back at Megan's house, Susan yells up the dinner's ready, and Megan tells her to go away. Oh no, she comes up to the door and she's like, "Hey, dinner's ready," and Megan's like, "Go away," and then like immediately feels bad about it, and she goes to like try to run down there to like say something, but the mirror is like not letting her leave the room.
And then here comes one of my least favorite scenes in any movie ever. Least favorite type of scenes.
Oh, no way. This scene is awesome in The Last House on the Left remake, but it's pretty fucking terrible in this. Susan just like is like, alright, fine, and just throws away all of the food she just made instead of fucking keeping it.
Right? Like, pretty drastic response to a teenager.
She is like pouring all of this fucking spaghetti down the garbage disposal, and it keeps getting jammed, and like it happens a couple times where she like reaches her hand in there for like suspense. and
then she like pulls out a piece of cloth and it makes this like boing sound, and I'm like, can you not? I hate it so much.
Eventually, she puts her hand in there, and it turns on, and it just starts fucking chopping her hand all up. But not really, because she pulls it out at some point, and it's just like fucking Jeff's face earlier, where it's just like sprayed with some blood, but there's no like cuts or anything on it. So her hand is getting chopped up, and there's blood spraying out of the garbage disposal everywhere. Megan is like screaming upstairs. At this point, the mirror starts calling for Megan, and like starts shooting blood all over the place out of the mirror, which conveniently is gone when Nikki shows up.
Yeah, I couldn't tell if it was blood or it was just like black, like.
I mean, I'm assuming it's blood because it's just like the only thing that seems to come out of it ever, except for flies, apparently.
Yeah, blood and then very occasionally flies, and that's it.
Maybe the flies are made of blood.
This was obvious. I feel like had to have been an obvious like Shining thing, because the way the blood just like pours out of the mirror like the elevator.
Yeah.
Nikki arrives and is like,
and like this part's confusing to me because the mirror like shatters too.
Oh,
so
yeah,
like
it's weird. It makes for a cool visual, but doesn't make any sense because the mirror is just like fine. Like 5 minutes later,
it's fine.
Yeah. The mirrors seems like it's probably a dude, so he's fine. Yeah, Nikki arrives and is immediately jump scared by Susan, and she just like shrugs her off.
Oh my, okay. Like, I know I complained about it being nonchalant, but this is the worst ever because like the house gets really silent. Nikki comes in, and then you get this jump scare of the mom grabbing her, and the mom is like bloody, and Nikki's like, "Oh my god!" And then she literally falls down dead, and Nikki's just like, "Oh, that's weird," and immediately just like walks up the stairs and doesn't even like react to the fact, like she got scared as a jump scare, but like doesn't care that this person is dead. Like for real. I mean, I guess maybe after you see your boyfriend get like drowned by you, like maybe you're shocked, like in shock or something, but like she's just like, I don't know.
She just kind of like pushes her off, and she's like, "Get out of here, fuck this."
Like she ran into a cobweb or something is like the extent to which she was just like, "Oh, okay, huh?"
Mild inconvenience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Aw, damn it.
Exactly.
Nikki comes into Megan's room and tells her she's decided to join her, and then like to like fake her out, and then tries to smash the mirror with a chair, which does not work. Megan starts yelling at her that she can't stop it and that the mirror wants her, and at this point the mirror, I think, is saying Nikki's name, but the subtitles kept saying Meggie, which bummed me out.
Oh. I was really confused by that because, like, I couldn't really hear. Like, this was another one of those movies where the dialogue and the volume, when I watched it, was, like, really off. So, like, I couldn't make out what he was saying. But then when it said Maggie, I was like, either. Because, like, that's what her dad called her. So I'm like, either.
Oh, is that what it was?
It's the dad. Well, I don't know because then I'm pretty sure that Meg says, Nikki, the mirror wants you. So, like, it could literally be either.
Yeah, at this point, for pretty much the entire rest of this movie, is just like all you hear is like wind, and you can't really hear any of the dialogue.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I never want to hear the word Meggie ever again.
It's just, yeah, it's not great.
The mirror's saying it like Yoshi.
Oh, I'm just like, I just assume it's like the mirror's pet name for her, and it grosses me out.
Ugh. And they're making out. And the mirror's like, Maggie.
Yeah.
Metal.
I
hate this.
Done.
And it's over.
Yeah.
Yoshi is a mirror demon. It's canon now.
They go running off and try to leave the house, but the mirror's got like all the doors locked, so they can't get out. They come running across Susan, and Megan's just like, "We need to save her." Nikki's like, "No, she's covered in newspaper. She's fine."
She's fine.
Nikki, like at one point, like turns around and like Megan's gone, and she goes running back upstairs and sees Megan in her bedroom next to the mirror, but like the bedroom door keeps like opening and closing, and it does it a couple times, and like one of the times it opens, Megan is gone, and Nikki goes running into the room and finds Megan laying on the ground, I guess dead, with just what looks like I don't know, sort of some ketchup squirted on her chest. And
yeah.
Nikki yells that like at the mirror that she just wants everything to go back to the way it was, which then cuts to the most baffling scene in the movie, which is Nikki and Megan and the bodies of the women from the opening.
Well, you forgot about the demon coming out.
That happens in this, like after it happens as like part of this scene.
Oh.
Yeah, it happens like after their.
Oh yeah, you're right. I skipped.
It's like they're in the fucking old timey clothes, and then it just is just like Nikki like over Megan's body, and like Nikki's got the knife and was like the one who was stabbing Megan, I guess, earlier in the movie.
Yeah, so it's like literally the opening, but Nikki is Mary and Megan is Elizabeth.
I didn't even know they had names.
I didn't either.
And then everything starts shaking, and the creature from Wishmaster comes out of the mirror.
I literally wrote Wishmaster shows up.
It looks just like the fucking creature for at least like the poster of Wishmaster.
Yeah, so he like pops out of the mirror and you see his like raggedy ass hair, then there's just like a close up on it and it literally is Wishmaster. Like there's no
It basically
it's the same.
It basically just like comes out and like winks at the camera and then it's just like end of movie. Yeah, this fucking demon starts coming out and then like Nikki just like pulls like grabs a black cloth that she like pulls up to cover the screen and then it's just the end of the movie.
So weird.
It's very strange.
You're just like, here I am, and then vanishes away, and she's like, oh man, I didn't like that. And tosses it over, and like, all right, well, that's the end.
So I was kind of on board with this ending if they would have left it the demon coming out of the mirror and then the end, because to me it's kind of like, I mean, I don't really understand how Nikki's saying like I wish everything was back to the way it was, is what she said. Like I don't really understand how that equates to them being the sisters, but like it's a demon, right? Whatever. So like if the demon just like popped out and was like rawr and then it was the end, like I'm cool with that. But the fact that the demon like retreats and then she covers it, I don't like. So then I Googled it to try and figure out like what is supposed to happen. And on the wiki page, the ending says that Megan sacrifices herself to stop the demon, which like I don't think was evident at all. Like it literally looks like she just died. I'm not really sure why we thought she sacrifices herself. And then it says Nikki wakes up and is in a time loop. Why and how would anyone ever
I mean,
understand that it was a time loop? And like why?
I wonder if that's at all explained in the sequel.
So the sequel is so basically the sequel is it's the same mirror. So I don't really know. Okay, this is like confusing because as you guys already know, the continuity of these movies is weird because it's like the same actors, different characters. And so the sequel is this mirror is for some reason like in a nunnery, and that takes in like orphans. So the two main characters are like this girl who's a dancer, hence Dance Raven or whatever the hell it's called, and then her brother.
I wish it was called
who
Dance
is like
Raven.
I would totally watch Dance Raven. That sounds fucking awesome.
So and then her brother who was like young but for some reason is like a concert violinist or some shit, and they're orphans because their dad died. And the mirror is like in the opening of the movie there's like this nun who is like, that mirror is evil, you have to get rid of it, and then the mirror does magic and like makes her blind. So she's like still at this nunnery and the mirror is still there. So the mirror shows up, and then the reason that this is confusing to me is because Mark Ruffalo plays this character who you're supposed to, maybe he is, or you're alluded to think that he is like a manifestation of the demon trying to like lure the main character into like, you know, like seducing her basically. But they say literally that Nikki is Mark Ruffalo's character's mom. So he is her son, so I'm not really sure how that works, if she's in a time loop in the first one, or if they're just using the name, but they say her name multiple times, so that makes me think that you're supposed to remember it's Nikki from the first movie, right? And so I don't know, maybe we're just supposed to think that she like went crazy. Anyways, so a bunch of like crazy weird stuff happens in this movie where like her stepsister is this lady that's like 60 years old or something, even though she's like 20 something, and she's like, my dad left you everything in the will and I hate you, I'm gonna make you feel like you're crazy. And so basically at the end of the movie the exact same shit happens where Mark Ruffalo sacrifices himself for her, and then she wakes up and is now the nun from the beginning of the movie.
What the fuck?
God.
This is the worst franchise.
So I'm like, maybe the third one will explain why this demon mirror makes people go into time loops. I don't know. I just could
Katie,
not
don't let
believe...
it sucker you, okay? It's gonna be the same thing.
It's bullying me.
Save yourself.
I just cannot believe that they literally had this movie have the exact same ending as the first one. Like, for real. The movie wasn't that bad. Like, it was fine.
Because of the dancing raven.
Right. Well, because of, Ponytail getting smacked in the face by a raven. But yeah, the raven is weird because like the raven part of it is that ravens come out of the mirror instead of like flies. So I don't really know why it's called Raven Dance, except for that the main character is like a classical dancer. There's a lot of really weird music and dancing in this one though. So
there's movies that'll do that where the sequel is essentially just like kind of a remake of like the first one, like Demons and Demons 2 is kind of like that, where it's essentially the same plot but just put in like a different setting. But like I don't know, it's weird when they're like movies that are made like this close together. Like this was 90 and 94.
Right. So, and also it doesn't make any sense. Like it didn't make sense the first time. Why are you gonna do it again?
They're like, we'll fix it.
They're just like, do you get it yet?
Like everyone's like,
no, I don't.
No, we
I don't.
Not at all.
I really don't. I need you to explain it to me.
Yeah. One more time, and that's how Mirror Mirror 3 happened.
And then we're like, I still don't get it. Can you just one more time? That's all I'm asking. And they were like, okay, but this is the last time for real.
Like, we'll do another one, but we're gonna have to do a better poster for it. I mean, Mirror Mirror 3 was put out a year later, so like I'm almost betting they probably were like filming it at like the same time as 2.
What if it's a like Silent Night, Deadly Night 2 situation where they just reuse like
Oh my god.
Well, because it's like
all footage?
it's 1990, then 1994, then 1995, and then 2000 is 4. I wonder if they were just like, we're onto something. We should capitalize real quick and just make a shit ton of money with 2 and 3.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering, because I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure the Witchboard stuff came out sort of close together like that also. And like when you see the like customers also watched or the more like this, it's a lot of the same like occult, like weird movie. So I think that they just thought like, yeah, we're just going to cash in on it. But at least the plot of the third one looks like the main character is a man, so at least
So
maybe it'll be different.
the quick synopsis of 3 is a young man discovers a mysterious mirror and begins to have disturbing visions of forbidden passion and brutal murder. But when he also finds a beautiful woman back from the dead and a detective with a thirst for vengeance, the real terror has only just begun. The mirror sees all, but what shocking secrets will it reveal? What the fuck is that movie about?
That's way too many words for that film, in my opinion.
Also, like, how does he know the woman's back from the dead?
I mean, I'm assuming he knows she died, but
Oh, excuse me. The first user review says the third movie in the Mirror Mirror series marked the point where the franchise abandoned horror for softcore porn.
I'm in.
What?
The movie has very little, if any, violence, and demon that lived in the mirror in the previous 2 films never shows up. Instead, we're treated to Billy Draco having sex almost continuously throughout the hour-and-a-half
I'm
runtime.
watching the shit out
Sounds
of this movie.
sick.
I'm not even watching 2. I'm going straight to this.
Yes.
Goodness,
you
how does this
You
happen?
can rent it on Prime for 99 cents.
Worth
Oh,
it.
okay, maybe that's why I couldn't find it, because it's not free. They're gonna make you pay for the third one, but the other 3 are free.
Yeah,
That is
you
shady.
want to watch this dude
That
fuck
is
a bunch, you gotta fucking pay for it.
You got it right. That's the one you gotta pay for. Well, goodness, guys.
I wonder which one of these has, like, the better... Oh my god, there's so many mirrors. I just looked it up on Letterboxd, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 movies called Mirror Mirror.
Oh my god.
Like,
Not from this franchise?
no, there's that one we were talking
Okay, I
about,
was
like
like-
the Julia Roberts one. There's this one from 1990. There is a movie from 1996, one from 1978, one from 2018, and one from 2008.
Fucking hell.
I'm going to put
That's too
out
many
there
mirrors.
that instead of watching Mirror Mirror, everyone should watch Mirror Mask, which is actually a good movie.
I'm
Have you guys seen
Mirror
Mirror
watch
Mask?
Mirror 3, The Voyeur.
Okay, so Mirror Mirror 4 is, as a storm rages, 5 desperate people are caught in the mirror's power. Oh, you read
we
this one
talked
already.
about that at the beginning.
And very strange sexual vengeance. So again, I guess we get another. This person says, well, thank God this is not as bad as part 3, but it still does suck. It must be the same person. Whammy666, if you're listening, thanks for your reviews.
Oh, God, I'm never watching any of these movies again.
No more mirrors. Mirrors are banned.
Unless we just skip straight to 3 to do that for the podcast.
Oh my God.
Katie, do you have any news?
Only a little. It's not really that. I just saw that they're gonna do a show for the Travel Channel that's called True Terror with Robert Englund. And so basically it's like a unsolved mystery sort of thing where he just like is the host and he's like, things are happening, and then it shows like stories of things that really happened, with like reenactments, of course. So I don't know. That's like for a very specific type of person, aka me. So maybe people will want to watch it, and like he's pretty cool. I mean, he plays himself obviously, but I don't know, could be cool. And then have you guys seen the trailer for a movie called Extraordinary?
No.
It's basically like a horror comedy that stars William Forte.
I saw
Will Forte.
I saw a story about that today on like Twitter.
I watched the trailer. Well, I think it was supposed, like, something happened where, like, I think it was supposed to already be out last year, but it's not. And I watched the trailer today. Bloody Disgusting shared it. I don't know if they shared it today, but it's on their site. You can watch it. It looks kind of cute. Like, not cute, but it looks like it's funny. So, I don't know. When they do, like, horror comedies right, like, they do them really right. So hopefully this will be, it looks funny. So that's really all.
I like Will Forte, so I'll probably at least watch it for that.
Yeah, it looks like the cuts that they showed for the trailer, like it looks like it's shot really well, and it takes place. It like follows the main character is like this Irish lady who's like a driving instructor or something. So you get like the really nice like countryside shots and all that stuff. So I don't know, but I think it comes out next month for real.
All right. Did you guys want to do shout outs of anything? All right.
I was waiting for Katie to go first.
Oh, I can. Nathan, do you want to go first?
Yeah, sure. Listen to the Brooklyn Nine-Nine podcast.
Oh my God, yes.
It's only 6 episodes, but which it should be a lot longer, but it's pretty interesting, and especially if you like the show. And I don't know, it's good. Listen to that.
The episodes at least are like pretty long, and they have like different sections where there's different people like on it, like not just actors but like behind the scenes people. So yeah, it was pretty interesting, especially since like the new season just started and it's the best show ever. So
other than that, I'm still listening to Knowledge Fight because I'm in the middle of it and it's still great. I still have like 25 days worth of episodes.
oh my God.
It's fucking crazy. I'm still in 2017.
Wow.
But yeah, that's pretty much all I've been listening to. All right, Katie.
Oh, so mine is kind of long, and I actually am only recommending it because I saw news about it, so I guess it's kind of combined. So I just saw that you guys have heard of, oh, I know Kit has, Grady Hendrix is a author, and he's like pretty famous for My Best Friend's Exorcism, where I mean, that's what it's about. But I just saw that he has a new book coming out in the spring called Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires. And the book's not even out yet, but Amazon has already like bought the rights to do a TV series about it, which seems like sort of crazy, but maybe that's good. And it has sort of like, so I feel like his books always have like a central like sort of like homage or theme that they go for, and this one seems like it's going to be sort of Fright Night-ish, because like I read that there whatever, you people know what Fright Night is. But then it was like interesting to me because a while ago, like I feel like this was a couple of years ago, the book My Best Friend's Exorcism, they were making a movie about it, but I haven't seen anything recently, so I don't know what happened with that. So obviously my recommendation is to read his books. He's only got like 4 or 5, but my main recommendation is he has a book called Paperbacks from Hell, which is which is about 70s and 80s like horror fiction. And if you can afford to purchase the actual book from Quark Books is who publishes it, the book is beautiful. It has so obviously, like I said, it's from horror fiction from the 70s and 80s, but each chapter they have like illustrated covers of like old books, and it's just like every book that they put out by him is amazing. Like he has another one called Horror Store, which is kind of based off of like an IKEA kind of thing, and the book looks kind of like a ordering catalog from IKEA. So everything that they released by him is just like so cool. So if you can afford it, I definitely recommend buying like the actual book, because it's just like it's so good. And it's not fiction. This one's like super informative. So there's like a chapter on like the first couple, like Rosemary's Baby and stuff like that. Then there's a book on like demon children and like so I saw recently they have started re-releasing certain books that were featured in that were like previously what were you reading? The Nest?
Yeah.
Yeah, so they started like republishing books from that as books that you can actually buy, which I think is super, super cool. And you can see the little Paperbacks from Hell like little trademark sticker thingy on it. So that's my recommendation. And again, his name is Grady Hendrix.
My favorite thing about that book is that it like introduced the world to Crabs 2: The Final Sacrifice, which is a book I used to own.
I think I saw you tweet about that recently also.
It pops up in my feed every once in a while, and it's always from like that book. And the cover of that book like is my favorite thing of all time.
It's so good.
It's just like giant crab with like a tiny knife in its claw. Like about to sacrifice some lady. It rules.
It's pretty cool, because then they do have some like synopsises of like some of the first books, and some of them I'm just like, how? I mean, I guess if that's all you can get your hands on, you're gonna like it, but some of them are just like so ridiculous. But yeah, it goes way beyond like anything that there's a lot of stuff that I had never even heard of in it, so highly recommend.
All right, what about you, Kit?
I'm gonna piggyback off of her and recommend The Nest, and really just checking out Valancourt Books, who is the publisher that has been re-releasing a lot of the paperbacks from Hell. So they've got like 10 of those available right now, and they do a whole bunch of like horror and gothic romantic and LGBT books that have been kind of, lost to time, re-releasing a bunch of those, and they're really nice. So definitely check out their website and see. There's something for everyone.
That's like, there's a couple like used bookstores here, and a couple that are like, there's one like kind of near me downtown that's like one of those ones where it's just like paperbacks just stacked fucking everywhere, that like you could find those like a bunch of those cool like weird old horror books if you go like look, if you just like spend the time to look through it. Alright, so next week we are going to do both the Suspiria movies.
Roses are red, violets are blue, but the iris is the flower that will mean the end of it.
You can run from Suspiria. You can hide from Suspiria. Suspiria. But you cannot escape Suspiria. The only thing more terrifying than the last 12 minutes of Suspiria are the first 92.
At the beginning, she gave me things. Perfect balance, perfect sleep. Oh, she wants to get inside of me. I can feel her. Oh, she can see me.
When you dance the dance of another, you make yourself in the image of its creator.
I feel like I'm not even here yet. The dumpling's incredible.
1, 2, 3.
The way she transmits her work.
You have to decide, what is it you want to be for this company?
There's more in that building than what you can see, Doctor.
You are living with dangerous people. Three mothers, pre-God, pre-devil. Mother Tenebrarum, Mother Lacrimarum, and Mother Suspiriorum. Darkness, tears, and sighs.
You're making some kind of deal with them. I don't know what you're talking about. It's all a mess. The one out there. The one in here. The one that's coming.
Dun, dun.
I don't think Katie hasn't seen either of them, right?
Correct.
All right. So,
Unbelievable.
it'll be more like the first episode we did, where we'll just kind of talk about what we like, what we dislike, as opposed to breaking them both down. But both of those are currently streaming for free, one on Tubi and one on Prime, which I guess technically isn't for free on, if you have to pay for Prime, but either way.
I think if people have been listening to us from now, like we do a lot of Prime stuff. So I think I meant to mention, I think the only movie aside from like going to see It 2 in the theater.
The It 2.
I think the only movie that we've paid for so far was Carousel. Is that wrong?
Kit and I have rented some stuff before.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like The Pest.
Oh my god. Wasn't that one like not even released?
Yeah, that one.
Did
like
you release
the audio was like unlistenable. Like the way.
So like double whammy. You paid for it and nobody got to hear it.
We hoped that we would suffer, and we did.
In the
so many ways.
I think
right.
there's been like we've probably paid for like maybe 3 movies that weren't like, like something we saw in a theater.
Right.
Yeah.
But
Okay, well, the only one I've paid for is Carousel, which speaks volumes, so immediately go watch it.
so the original Suspiria is on Tubi, and then the remake is on Prime. If you want to watch those, which you should have already, unless you're Katie.
I know. It's just one of those things, you guys. I'm actually like kind of bummed because like I have seen spoilers, so I like do know what it's actually about. But
That really
other than like
won't. It really shouldn't like affect anything, especially the
Okay.
the original one is like so like visually interesting that without seeing it, it doesn't really matter if you know anything about it.
Okay. Yeah, I'm really excited. It's just like another one of those things that I've been meaning to watch, but now I have like an actual thing making me do it, so. But we'll see.
Alright, so you can rate and review us on iTunes and leave us recipe reviews.
Yes, please.
Follow us on Twitter at I Hope You Suffer and Instagram at I Hope You Suffer Podcast. Listen to Kit's other podcast, Riff Raff. You guys haven't recorded one lately, have you?
Yeah, there hadn't been a whole lot of music, so
Music
waiting
has
to-
stopped.
I saw
yeah, music's just stopped.
Pat post something about like albums he's listened to this year on like Twitter yesterday, and it was all like old shit.
Yeah,
So I guess that makes sense.
and new stuff doesn't really kick in until
Yeah.
the end of this month, beginning of next month. So
Should
we'll see. Hopefully we'll get to recording again soon.
just do an episode on like Tremors, the music from Tremors.
I'm so in.
Ooh.
Pat's like, no, thank you.
Pat would hate that.
I don't know Pat, but I will pretend to be him if
Put on an
need me
Australian
to.
to.
accent.
Australian accent.
It's pretty good, mate.
Kind of sounds like Pat.
Crushed it. Spot on.
Follow Katie on Instagram at WerewolfFace and commission her so she can go see Backstreet Boys.
Oh my god, please, you guys, I need to
Or
go
just
so
send
bad.
her money on coffee.
Or you can also just send me money, yeah.
The ko-fi.com/werewolfface.
That's right.
Then you can listen to my other podcast, Love You Be Your Pot of Love. I think we are going to record a new episode soon. I am in the process of packing and working all the time, so I am ready to die. Alright, watch Suspiria, and then I guess if you won't watch the remake. But watch the original one because it's great. And listen to me complain about the remake next week.
Oh goodness.
Actually, I don't know.
I will defend.
I'm interested to rewatch it because I watched it the one time where I was just kind of like, this is weird. I'm kind of interested to see what like my take is the second time around. All right. I hope you suffer, but why?
Maggie!